We all love ice cream, right? But I bet you don't know its crazy, totally epic story. It's a journey that spans empires, continents, and thousands of years. So, let's dig in.
Okay, so when you think of ice cream, you probably think of a summer treat, right? Something modern. But what if I told you it's actually over 2,000 years old? No, I'm not kidding, 2,000 years.
So where does this story even begin? Well, it's not in some shiny, modern factory. Nope, we have to go way back. Back to two of history's greatest empires to find the very first frozen desserts. Now get this, these early treats were not for everybody. We're talking 200 BC in China, where they made this special frozen mix of milk and rice, but only for the emperor. Then, fast forward a couple of centuries to the Roman Empire, Emperor Nero would actually send runners up into the mountains just to get snow. They'd bring it back and he'd flavor it with fruit and honey. I mean, just think about the effort to get the ice. This was the absolute ultimate luxury.
Okay, so the idea of frozen treats eventually makes its way over to Europe, but it didn't exactly become a snack for everyone. In fact, it became an even more exclusive symbol of status.
You know, for hundreds of years, the recipes for these icy desserts were like top-secret state secrets, passed around royal courts and the super wealthy. If you had ice cream served at your banquet, man, that was a major flex. It showed everyone you had unbelievable wealth and power, because it meant you could afford the sugar, the spices, and the crazy logistics of getting and storing ice. But then, the story takes this massive turn when it crosses the Atlantic. Over in America, ice cream starts this slow, but steady journey from being a treat just for the powerful to a dessert for, well, everyone.
And you'll never guess who was leading the charge. Some of America's most famous founding fathers. Seriously, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, these guys were huge ice cream fans. Jefferson even had his own super detailed 18-step recipe for vanilla ice cream.
And to give you a real sense of how much they loved it, check this out. Records show that in just one summer, the summer of 1790, George Washington spent around $200 on ice cream. Now that might not sound like a lot, but in today's money, that's thousands of dollars. It just proves this stuff was still a really expensive, super sought-after treat.
So with all these high-profile fans, you can imagine the demand started to build. And right on cue, thanks to some new inventions in ice making and manufacturing, the very first ice cream parlors started popping up in cities. This was a game changer. For the very first time, you didn't have to be a president to grab a scoop.
But even then, ice cream was missing something. Its perfect partner, the cone. And the story of how it was invented? It's the perfect example of a happy accident. All right, let's paint a picture. The year is 1904. The place? The St. Louis World's Fair. Imagine the crowds, the noise, the excitement. It's a hot day and vendors are selling all kinds of amazing new foods.
So there's this one ice cream vendor who's just killing it. He's so popular, in fact, that he runs completely out of dishes. Total disaster, right? But then, the guy in the booth next to him, who happens to be selling waffles, has this light bulb moment. He takes one of his warm waffles, rolls it up into a cone shape, and lets it cool down. And just like that, boom, the edible, portable ice cream cone is born. Absolutely brilliant.
And really, that one moment at the World's Fair helped launch ice cream into the stratosphere. I mean, think about it. It went from an emperor's exclusive snack to a treat you could hold in your hand. It was finally ready to become a true global favorite.
And today, that love for ice cream is everywhere, right? It's universal. Just look at what kids love. You've got the classics still holding strong, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, of course. But then you see newcomers like cookie dough in the mix, which just shows how our tastes are always changing.
Our obsession has also led to some pretty wild stuff. There are actual world records for the largest sundae ever made, and we're talking it weighed tons. And for the shop with the most flavors, which is in the thousands. It's come a long way from just being snow and honey, huh?
You know, when you really think about it, the whole journey of ice cream kind of mirrors our own history. It started as this super rare luxury for just a few powerful people. And now, it's a simple pleasure pretty much anyone can enjoy. All thanks to centuries of new ideas, and one really clever waffle maker. So, after this incredible journey of more than 2,000 years, just to get to that scoop you can buy today, it makes you wonder what's next. But for now, I've got to ask, what's your favorite flavor?